Hey, hello guys. Watch my interview to Miss Erin, and she will give you a lot of value about mindset and what's stopping you to move on and how to make yourself deliriously happy. Watch out.
Yeah, I was just talking a few minutes ago about the fact that everyone is motivated. Every human being has one motivation. Everyone is motivated by the desire for happiness. You know, we think we want money or the car or the jewelry or all these things, but when you break it down, why do you want all those things? It's because you want happiness. Every human being is driven for by the desire for happiness. And unfortunately, when our mindset is working against us, when our programming is, we're running on this program that stops us from being able to be so happy and, realize our true potential. When we've got stuff going on upstairs that is imprinted in the subconscious mind that is holding us back from creating what we want. Right? So I myself have completely rewired my brain, my subconscious, my programming. Uh, and it's a process to do it, but it's an absolute must because there are things that hold every human being back. And here's the truth. You want to know what is holding you back? I absolutely guarantee you something that happened to you before the age of 7 is what is holding you back now. So things that happen to us before the age of 7, they become imprinted in our subconscious mind, and that becomes your programming, right? Because between the ages of 0 and 7, you're actually living in theta mode. It's the brain state of hypnosis. They also call it the imagination state. And you're very, very easily influenced by things that happen at that time in your life. And at that time in your life, we're always geared for survival. I mean, that's a driving force of human beings. It's all about surviving. But especially at that time, when something happens to you before the age of 7 and you feel like your survival is at stake, that you're not good enough, so therefore you're not going to survive, you're going to get kicked out of the pack, kicked out of the tribe, that then becomes your belief, your map of the world, and you see everything through that belief, through that filter, and you're screwed. You're completely screwed if you don't get rid of that programming. And we will run that program our entire lives, and things will happen that will reinforce that BS belief. And that is the program you run on. So, how are you able to create happiness in your life, create the business of your dreams, the lifestyle of your dreams, if you're running on that program that is not working for you?
Yeah,
Make
yes,
sense?
makes sense. Yes, it is. So how can they find a program that will work for them, especially for those who just getting started and don't know what to do? So yes.
So if you find yourself I'll give you some examples. Like, let's talk about if you're growing a business and you know there are things you need to be doing to grow your business, right? Like, let's take doing video, for example. Starting to do video is hard. It is hard. It takes so much courage, so much courage. Quite honestly, I had to be semi-drunk to do my first 30 videos. I had to have at least six ounces of booze in me before I would do a video because I was petrified. So what I did was I broke down, why am I so afraid to do video? What am I so afraid of? And once I realized it was the fear of not being good enough, the fear of being judged. What are people going to think of me? Oh my gosh. And I realized I was allowing that fear, that BS belief from my past that was imprinted into my subconscious mind before the age of 7 and then reinforced at various different times in my life, that was holding me back from doing something like video. And once I realized that, I went, all right, I guess I got to push through it. If I have to have a couple drinks, okay, so be it. I won't have to do it all the time, right? So I began to realize that I needed to just push myself to do what I was scared to do to get over the fear. But realizing that you're holding yourself back because of something that happened before the age of 7 is huge. Is huge. Once you have that realization, you kind of go, I am not letting anything like this hold me back. That's just ridiculous. And having that realization and deciding to reprogram your brain is the first step. That is the first step.
Mm. Do you think they need somebody to reprogram or help them to start, doing this process? Things like that.
Well, that's a really good question. I've never been asked that question before. There are several things you can do on your own. I mean, you can see a hypnotherapist, you can see an NLP practitioner, you could see a therapist if you want to spend 10 years in therapy. But there are things you can do yourself. I have completely reprogrammed my own brain completely on myself. I do practice neurolinguistic programming and I do practice hypnotherapy. I'm obsessed with the human mind. So I've been studying all this stuff for actually all my life. But the fastest way to reprogram your own brain is through auto-hypnosis. Auto-hypnosis. So remember I was talking about between the ages of 0 and 7, you're living in theta mode. The brain state of hypnosis, the imagination state. That's why kids run around and think they're airplanes, because they're in the imagination state, right? So here's the thing. When you go to bed at night, when you begin to slip into sleep, I always know because my thoughts get kind of weird and I'm like thinking of a purple elephant walking down the street, which is completely illogical. Therefore, I know I'm slipping into theta mode. When you slip into theta mode, anything you are listening to, especially in your headphones, gets directly downloaded into your subconscious mind. It bypasses your conscious mind and gets directly downloaded into your subconscious mind. That is called auto hypnosis. It's the fastest way to do it. So listening to stuff at night or when you wake up in the morning, you know how like if you remember clock radios and your clock radio would go off and it would be like a song playing and it would go into your dream. You'd have this dream and you're walking on the beach, but yet you're hearing this song. That's because you're in theta mode. The song playing from your alarm clock is mixing in with your dream and you're in that dreamlike state, theta mode. Anything you hear gets directly downloaded into your subconscious mind. But one of the other ways to do it for people who aren't going to stick with doing auto hypnosis and such, I am a very, very big believer in stepping outside your comfort zone and pushing yourself to do the things that scare the crap out of you. It is the fastest way to build your self-confidence. You did something you were scared to do and you're pretty darn proud of yourself. You're like, oh my God, I did it, right? It creates a sense of accomplishment, which you continue to do things. Then you become more self-confident. You continue to do things. And soon enough, you're creating all these results because you're doing the things you need to do to get the results. And you become incredibly empowered. When you become incredibly empowered, you no longer care what people think of you. You drop the ego and there's nothing to hold you back, right? When you get to that place, you don't care what happened to you before the age of 7, the event that happened. You get over it. You then understand that you are good enough to create whatever you want. You are smart enough. You are pretty enough, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
All that bullshit we tell ourselves that holds us back, right?
Yeah.
So do what you need to do to build your self-confidence. Fastest way to do that is step outside your comfort zone and do things you need to do. I had no idea, Maria, that doing video would put me on the fast track for changing my entire life. It seems quite silly. It seems like such a small thing. but it's not. It was such a big thing for me because I was so scared to do it that when I did it anyway, I kind of started to become a different person, right? And it empowered me in all areas of my life. So I know this works. Do what you're scared to do. You could go and do that right now. Right now. You could go and
Yeah.
do a video or do something you're scared of. Go ask out that hot guy you've been wanting to ask out,
Mm.
right? Go do something you're scared to do. Learn from the experience. Who cares if it sucks? Who cares if your video sucks?
Yeah.
You did it. Who cares if the hot guy turns you down? You had the guts to go and ask him out. That's a really big deal.
Yes. Yeah.
And then you're like, I'm on fire now. I'm going to ask every guy out.
All, all you have to do is to ask, like what I did, right? Is we just five,
Yes.
right? Right, we did right now. I just saw you on live, and then I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna ask her if she's open for tonight." And then you say, "Yeah, oh, thank you, yes." If it is no, it's okay. If it is yes, great, right? So that
Yeah, absolutely. What's the worst somebody's going to say? I'm sorry, I can't do it right now. Oh, well, if your ego isn't in the way, you're not going to go and cry in the corner. You're going to go, oh, that person was busy.
yeah,
They couldn't do it.
maybe some other time, right?
Yeah,
Mm,
exactly.
mm. That's how my mind is working. I don't think, oh, maybe she don't like it. Oh, maybe so. No, 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 no. Yes. So especially for some people that are just getting started and on the process of this mindset, and getting off of their comfort zone. And if they hear some negative critics, what are the best message that you can give to them that can keep going on?
To keep going. Oh, I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
Yeah,
To get them to keep going?
yeah, keep going into the process. If they heard some critics or negative about them, know
Oh,
that critics are our best.
yeah. Those moments when you want to quit on yourself, right? Well, nothing good ever comes from not being consistent. You know, when I first came in this industry, it was when I first really heard the whole concept of the power of consistency, right? The compound effect, the results you would get if you consistently did what you needed to do. And I kind of went, yeah, right, whatever. But when I first started my business, I was so passionate about what I was doing. I was so on fire. I could not keep going. I couldn't not be consistent because I loved what I was doing. And then I began to see results faster than a lot of people around me because I was consistent. And it's funny because I went for a hike with my son a couple days ago, and I was thinking about this when we were coming down off the mountain. I was thinking about a couple years ago, I was challenged by someone else. We were both in the same company shooting for a really high rank. And there was two of us running for it, and we were both Canadian. And a Canadian had never hit the rank in the company before. And he challenged me to who's going to be the first Canadian to hit L4, right? And I was new in the industry. I had a Facebook following of like maybe 1,000 people. I had no YouTube channel, no Twitter, no Pinterest, no nothing. I didn't even have an email list at the time. And he had like over 1 million people on Twitter, 1 million on this, 1 million on that. And I was talking to another leader in the industry, and I went, I don't have a hope in hell to beat this guy. And he goes, yes, you will. I went, why do you even think that? And he goes, because you are ultra consistent. And I went for it. I went for it. All I did was, I continued being ultra consistent, but I upped my game. I upped my game and I was showing up everywhere. That back in the day where you could like post 8 or 9 times on Facebook. Don't do that now. You got 2 posts a day. That's it. But anyway, I got really active, and talk about consistent. I showed up every single day and I won. I beat them. I beat them. So I really learned the lesson about consistency. Consistency is everything. You have to be consistent. It doesn't matter if you're having a bad day or the self-doubt starts to kick in. If the self-doubt starts to kick in, you need to go and do some personal development. That means go to YouTube and watch an inspirational video. That's what I do. If I'm having a bad day, it's like, oh, you need to do a little bit of personal development. I will, watch a Tony Robbins video. I will watch an interview with somebody really inspirational. I will listen to Abraham Hicks. I will do what I need to do to pull my sorry ass out of the feeling sorry for yourself mode, the self-doubt kind of thing, and pull yourself out of that as fast as you can and get back at it.
Thank you so much. I know a lot of people can relate to you and they're watching this video. So I know there's also it can also help when they join to a community or in a group to help them, to help them and work with other members inside a group to, to go into process of that, right? So do you have any groups that they can come and join?
I do. I actually just started another group that is my purpose. It's my passion. I have a group for women where we all want happiness. We all want this perfect life. So I've actually created a community for women who are very much at that place in life where they've decided that they want to be happy, right? But they don't always know how to go and make that happen, especially moms who've been at home with kids and they've put all their energy, right? They have come last. They've been thinking of themselves last for years because the kids, the family, the house, all of that, maybe their career has come first for a long time. Now they're at a place in life where they realize they want more happiness. Maybe they're approaching middle age. This is exactly what happened to me. And they don't know how to create that happiness. They've lost themselves somewhere along the way. They've kind of lost themselves and they don't know what makes them happy anymore. So my group is to help people find their happiness, create their happiness, and just live the kind of life that they want. So it's a lot of mindset, mastering your psychology, but I'm going to do a lot of business training in there. I'm talking about like relationship coaching, just all things to help you create your perfect life.
Okay, is this a different kind of process for a women and a man? Or because the men way of thinking is different from women?
Well, it very much so. I actually study all this stuff too, the differences between the way men and women think. But both male and female get to a place in life where they have the realization that they're middle-aged, life is half over. And that's when you start asking yourself the questions, how happy you are, how fulfilled, are you having enough fun, all that kind of stuff. So both men and women go through it. But my group is actually for women because I'm going to talk about a lot of women's issues in there as well. So I'm kind of niching it down to just women because I want an atmosphere where the women in my group can say anything that is on their mind. Anything that is on their mind, whether it be about their marriage, their boyfriend, their business, their inner thoughts, all of that stuff. So I want a real safe zone where women come together, help each other, inspire each other, learn from each other, network, all that good stuff. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Erin, for this wonderful interview. So before we end up, can you give them your last message to the world for everybody?
Biggest thing I've learned, I think, was getting over the ego. Getting over the ego. Getting to a place where you understand that it's not all about you and not everyone is so concerned about what you look like, all those things. Not everyone is as critical of you as you think they are. And while you think everyone is spending all their time criticizing you, they're not. They have their own life. They have their own issues. And while we think everyone is so busy thinking about us, that holds us back from putting ourselves out there. And that's one of the biggest things. I mean, I played small all my life until I got over myself. And I see a lot of people hold themselves back because they're so concerned of what other people are going to think of them.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Get over it. No one is criticizing you nearly as much as you think they are.
All right. Thank you so much. And looking forward to see you to travel here in Japan. Maybe sometime.
Yes. Yeah, we can put a workshop on in Japan.
Yes, yes, we can.
Let's do that.
All right.
Thank you so much for having me. Nice chatting with you,
Nice
Maria.
you too. Thank you.
Well,
Bye bye.
bye.